Hey and welcome. I'm your boy Solo. In this video, I'll be going over how to keep a streaming schedule. This is just going to be something that you will need to take with a grain of salt because everyone is different and different things work for different people. So I'll be going over some of the ways and some of the things that I do to keep on my schedule and a few tips and tricks I use to keep me on time. That being said, let's jump into it. So first of all, again, this is just a talking head video and there's going to be lots of different things that work for lots of different people. But one of the biggest things to look at is actually if you don't want to keep a schedule, it's probably something that you're never going to be able to do. You actually have to want it. So that for my first one, I think that you should find something that you enjoy doing enough that you want to keep to your schedule. So make sure, like, if you're happen to be streaming games and stuff like that, make sure it's something that you super enjoy playing and don't mind streaming it, because the harder you make it for yourself, the more you won't want to. And that's just really key to having a schedule. When you're just self-managing, when you're managing yourself, it's a lot easier just to not do something. But if you enjoy it, it makes it a lot easier to do. And if you do not want to keep a schedule, or if you're not interested in something enough to keep it in a schedule, it's going to be really hard no matter what tip or trick that you use for you to actually do it. If you don't want to, it's going to be hard. No one's there to force you. So it does take a little bit of gumption for yourself to be able to get up and actually do it. Or just, like I said, make it and plan it for something that you actually enjoy. But that being said, after you pass that there hurdle, there is a couple of tips and tricks that do help me to stay on time. We're just going to start with a few simple things that you can do to keep on your schedule. And it's not going to make much sense at first, but the first one's going to be to plan a little bit more loosely. So if you've already had a schedule for a while and you find yourself, let's say you started at 4, and so that you set that time, if you find that you are missing that schedule or you're not able to keep it, maybe the problem is that you're too strict with your time. So maybe try something like setting your time in between 4 and 5. This is something that I do that just keeps me so that I can sit down in front of the computer. I can take a couple minutes. I can load up my game. I can get into it. So if I get chatting with one of my friends and it starts to become a good time, it just becomes that much easier for me to hit the go live button. And nobody's expecting you to be exactly on time if your schedule on your profile and stuff like that actually has a loose time, like start streaming between 4 and 5. So that gives you about an hour that you can sit down and kind of get ready for it. That just makes it a lot easier to stay on schedule. There is a thing called stage fright. And if you set yourself a hard, strict time and sticking to that schedule and you're nervous of clicking that go live button so that you don't, because it kind of, there's just some kind of feeling there, let's say. Not everyone has the same, but there is that feeling that you kind of get like you don't want to. After you're having fun in your game for a few minutes, and you start at 5 and you sit down, okay, I'm getting ready. You have your drink, you already had something to eat, you're kind of getting ready, and you start playing and you start having fun. That'll be an easy way to keep you on schedule because you'll want to click the go live button. You'll want to stay on your schedule. So I think that one's a really important one because I do see a lot of people that can't keep on their schedule for something so simple as if they had a half hour on the game, maybe playing, just kind of getting ready for their stream, that they'd probably just have a little bit easier of a time doing it because they're warmed up, they're already talking, they're not anticipating it. Like the anticipation of clicking the go live button is sometimes makes people anxious. There's lots of feelings that can be involved around that. So keeping the schedule is just really hard. Or being just a simple, just tired after work or whatever. So if you're having a fun time, the tired kind of doesn't become as much of an issue because once you're having a fun time and you're enjoying it, you click it on. I feel like it's not the same amount of work. It doesn't feel like the work as much as it does when you have a set time, a hard set time where you have to start just like your job. Don't treat it like your job. Kind of have it a little bit more loose. I think that's one thing that a lot of people overlook. Make sure that you let everyone know, though. You don't want to say that you're going to start at 3 and then start at 4. A lot of people might get upset with that waiting for so long, and you'll lose a couple. Just say in between a certain time, easy to keep that their time. Make sure that you're doing something like your game or whatever you're prepping for. Start a match, like if you're playing Apex or if you're streaming Harvest Moon or whatever. Get into it a little bit, have your friends or whatever you're doing. Make sure you get into a role and then just click it when you feel comfortable. I think that's an easy way to keep your schedule. That's not the problem for everyone. There's lots of other issues. And another way that I do my planning is I do have like a calendar. I have a Google Calendar. I have it on my phone. And just setting a date and a time for when you're going to do things. So I have a whiteboard as well behind me. I'll make sure to leave a picture of it I'll make sure to leave a picture of it right here. And all it is it's the most basic thing. It's just a simple calendar. It's just got the days of the week. It doesn't have a whole bunch of stuff. I have some things, some videos I have planned, the days that I record, the days that I go live, and when I post my video. I haven't missed a video in 3 years because I super love making my videos. it makes it so much easier to schedule it in. I have all week till that one day, so I kind of have lots of time to do my work, and I find making the video and making the content a lot easier than streaming, don't get me wrong. When clicking that go live, I kind of have a little bit of anxiety, so when I click to go live, I have that anticipation is why I leave it at a looser time. And yes, that does actually affect me some. It does make my viewers lower, but I'm not really trying to get hundreds of viewers. I'm just trying to have a good time online with my friends. I enjoy having the clips of our moments when we do that funny thing or that silly, and I like being able to look back at it later on. So those are some of the reasons. It depends on the reasons that you have for streaming that make it easier. If you really want to be a streamer and you're having a hard time actually keeping your schedule, like how bad do you actually want it? If you wanted it bad, I'm pretty sure you would wake up and want to do it first thing you wake till the time you go to sleep. When I want to do something, that's the way I do it. And if I do it for too long, it does get to the point where I don't have that inspiration just to start every single day. When that starts to go, it's because you did it too much or you overexhaust it. So that's another thing. When you're scheduling, make sure you don't schedule it for every single day. You need to take breaks. You'll have burnout. You're not going to stay to your schedule if you're not interested in your schedule. You have to keep yourself interested in your schedule. You have to want to do that thing. So if you overdo it, you're not going to want to do it. Anything that you overdo or do too much, there's lots of things that happen that just make it tedious and that you don't want to do it anymore. Got to get those things out of the way. You have to see those things, you have to understand those things, and you have to find ways around them. Burnout is real. It is something that a lot of people suffer from, and you can just only do so much of something before you will eventually have it. Ways to prevent that is just schedule smartly. So make sure that your schedule, it just has a couple of really good, conveniently placed days for you to start. You don't need to stream every single day, and sometimes planning time for every single day will cause you quite a bit more stress doing the thing that you enjoy, therefore not making it fun, harder to keep to your schedule. Now, the simple ways, like everyone knows, and probably you've been told a dozen times, just set alarms, make calendars, plan days. But another good way to do it, it depends on what kind of person you are, but make yourself promises. Make promises to your community. Make sure you set set times. This will make it a little unfun, but depends on how you and why you want to keep your schedule. If you find that you're awkward when you miss a day and when you make a promise that you're going to be live that day, maybe that's something that you need to use against yourself to get yourself to stream that extra day. I wouldn't do it often because it'll actually hurt you more than help you. But there's that one or two times where I think that will get you online that if you start having fun partway through your stream, you won't regret doing it. So look into doing stuff like that there. Just think about things like that there where you can capitalize on things. Make promises where you know you'll not want to break the promise. Set times that you know you won't have to have any issues. You know that you're not busy. And if you are super busy, just make sure to tell everyone ahead of time and change your schedule. I know that there's a lot of people that just can't keep a schedule. For those people, streaming all over the place does hurt your content quite a bit, but there is just some things that you don't need to worry about. Like if you're making clips and you're making other things, I'll wait till this is over. Now, some of the things about the loose schedule, like it more applies to streaming. You wouldn't want to stream like a different time every single day, but there's other content that does not apply to. So if you're having a really hard time streaming at the exact same time every single day and you're all over the place, your best bet to be just enjoy your streaming. Just enjoy it. Don't worry about your viewers. And I would be placing content scheduled other places. And what I would do is just take a clip, even if it's raw, wait till the day that you're going to, and just upload it. So then it's not something that you have to worry about. And if you upload it early, you can just schedule it for the day. So when you're uploading content, I find you can do it a lot more loose of a schedule. So when you're streaming, if you're clipping it for content, that's super good for you don't actually need that much of a schedule because you're actually going to get your main following and do your main work over on a different platform where you can schedule your upload to a certain day. So staying on time and scheduling things would just be so much easier. You don't have to worry about it as much. You have a full entire week to make sure that that's ready for that one day. And that's the way that I do my YouTube. So I stream a little bit, but I do a lot more YouTube because it fits my schedule a lot better. When I schedule things, I can take all week before I have to worry about posting that one video. That gives me so many days and I have them planned for certain things so that I don't have to worry about having any problems following it because I got plenty of time. I can upload it early if I'm done early. And the scheduling system makes it so that it's always the exact same time every single time without me having to worry about scheduling my time to be on that exact same time. I can schedule it 2 days in advance to upload to that exact same and post at that time. That there might actually be better if you're streaming and making content out of it at the same time. The content might actually be worth scheduling better than your streams. If you're clipping your streams, like I said, if you're not in there just only to have a bunch of viewers, not having a super strict schedule won't matter too much. You're not going to have consistent viewers if you're not consistent. So the thing about having the schedule is it's supposed to keep you consistent. But if you're just in there having fun and being consistent on other places, you'll still grow a pretty good following other places. As long as you're staying consistent, you'll grow consistently. I guess I shouldn't quite say it like that because sometimes you can try pretty hard and not really grow at all. I just think those things do help a lot better when you're consistent. So take that with a grain of salt. That's an opinion of mine. That's what I've seen so far since being on YouTube. And I do stream quite a bit on Twitch, but I have that loose schedule. I have a problem with my schedule quite a bit. So these are some of the things that I've done to kind of fix it up so that I've been on quite a bit more. I think one of the biggest things that I did was I just set a Google Calendar that sets an alarm. So 5 minutes or 20 minutes or a half hour, an hour before I'm going to think about streaming, my alarm will go off. It'll let me know. So if I'm doing something, I have myself an hour's worth of time to be able to prepare for the stream that I have scheduled, preventing me from missing it if I'm happen to be out at the store or something like that as well. So just simple things like planning ahead of time that can help you stick to your schedule. But like I said, this is just a talking head video. I'm just going over some of the things that you can try. There's lots of ways, lots of different apps and things that you can use, but I think none of that matters if you don't actually want it yourself. So I think the most important thing about scheduling is to make it so that you enjoy the schedule that you have. The more you enjoy it, the easier it is going to be to keep. And that's what I found most. I switched around a couple of things in my schedule. Now I super enjoy the times that I have. It happens to be when a lot of my friends are on. Everything's super chatty, and it's just always a good time. So that's an easy schedule. I super love that time of day, and I'm going to keep it. I'm going to continue it because it's a very enjoyable part of the day on that day. So scheduling does have its benefits, and it definitely helps you stay consistent. But sometimes, like I said, if you're putting it other places, the schedule only actually hurts you. If scheduling things causes you lots of problems, you have time issues where you can only just jump on because things are like work different times a day, on call, things like that, and it's super hard. The schedules just sometimes can't be like very consistent. So maybe just putting that stuff at other places and scheduling it better other places where you don't have any time constraints. Not being live, actually, as much as this is how to keep your schedule for streamers, keeping your schedule for your other content could replace, and keeping your schedule other places could make it a consistent spot where you're continuously gaining people at different time zones. Therefore, it doesn't matter what time of day that you're streaming. You'll just have a lower base, I think, or you'll have less viewers at certain times of day because they're just not expecting you to be on. If that's not a problem for you, then it's just not a problem. And like I said, the schedule is something you have to want to keep. It's something you have to want. Not everybody wants to do that, and nobody wants to feel like it's work. Most people are on there to stream for fun. So if you're making yourself doing it, you might actually be hurting yourself. Make it a little bit loose or try to get yourself in between sometimes. But that's really all I have to suggest for it. Make yourself some calendars, make yourself some sticky notes. That's really the best you can do, and find something that you actually like doing. A schedule is a personal thing. It's self-dependent. So the more you want to do it, the more inspiration you have, the more motivation you have to go do that thing, just the better. So make sure it's something that you actually want to do, and you'll just be able to stick to your schedule a lot better. But that's it for me. This is just a rambling video. I just wanted to talk about it some. I'm going through the transition myself, and if you have any super cool ways that you keep to your schedule, I know I missed lots of different ways. This is just the ones that I've gone through just personally myself to try and better and enhance my schedule keeping. But if you have some really cool tips and tricks, definitely leave them down in the description below. I'd love to hear what you guys do. Maybe I can pick up a couple when I make another video like this here, and it'd be just something interesting to go over a couple of different topics of what everyone else is using to just do their schedules. So on the note, thanks again. I hope this provided some good information, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.